third question. Both of you are currently SGA members. As a current member of the Student Government Association, what are the central issues that need to be addressed regarding the organization, and how do you plan to address them? Emma, you will start on this one.
As Executive Vice President, many of the internal functions of SGA I've been in charge of. Committees, setting the agenda, looking at legislation, putting legislation on the agenda. All those internal functions come under my command. So I understand in what areas we can improve efficiency and output, especially with the committees. In the standing committees of SGA, we need to have assigned roles for those senators in the committees. This will increase output, it will increase efficiency. Internally, I think, in the position of Executive Vice President, I'm the chair of the Judicial Committee. And I really feel that there's a conflict of interest, there's a bias. When someone comes with an infraction to the Judicial Committee, internally in SGA, we need to have a reform that will create an external judicial branch that will serve as a check on the entire Senate, including the executive officers. You know, there's lots of ways that we can improve public relations. And that's the whole, my whole second plank in my campaign, outreach. We need to do a better job of letting students know. Here at the presidential debate, even though it's the first one, we should be in a much larger setting with no empty chairs. You know, and we're going to take the blame for that, SGA is. As executive president, we'll continue the tradition of having the highest number of freshmen turn out for elections and candidates. We'll continue that tradition. We'll also make sure that next year we're going to have a full arena, a much larger setting. Hopefully Whitley, maybe in a larger setting. So that's what we're going to do to help improve internally SGA.
I feel that the biggest problem with SGA is that everyone in SGA knows what we do, but no one outside of SGA knows what we do. We make decisions every week that affect every single one of you. It affects your everyday life. Last year, there was an issue brought up about putting condom dispensers in every bathroom in SGA. It doesn't matter whether you agree with this or not. The fact is, you needed to know what decisions were being made for you. What I propose is on the Elon main website online is that there's a specific section just for SGA where students can click and log on and read the description of what is going on in SGA and the results of the vote that might have taken place in the Senate meeting. Not only will this show students what's going on in SGA, this will show visitors how progressive our university is and what SGA is doing for our student body.
Question 4. Communication between an organization and constituents can be an issue on any campus. Do you feel that constituent awareness is an issue for SGA? How will you try to increase constituent awareness and the student body's interest in the Student Government Association? Kelly, you'll start on this one.
Well, this kind of has to do with the last question that I answered. And every person in SGA represents an organization. Every person represents a group of people. And these group of people need to know who their representatives are. If they don't know who their representatives are, they will not know who to go to when they have an issue. What we need to do is we need to make sure that the student body has the knowledge of who is representing them. And once they know that, they can go with these people to this specific issue and it can in turn be brought to SGA. We cannot improve SGA unless we improve our student relations between the student body and actual SGA members.
Well, yes, there is a problem, and that's once we get in, we go back to outreach, what I'm trying to work on. We'll start out with organizations. This year, we created an initiative to have roundtable meetings with the different clusters of organizations. We need to improve this process because it's a great idea. We need to refine it, we need to polish it, and make sure that SGA is doing their part to reach out to organizations. Now, in a perfect world, I would like to have our executive officers and members of the organization council to go to meetings of organizations on campus. Once a month, maybe once every 2 months. Something so they know SGA is concerned, they want to know what they're doing, what's going on, and what we can help them with. Now, we can harp all night about PR. You've heard a lot about it, and you're going to hear about it later. But we have to utilize student media. If you remember in 2008 on campus, there's a lot of buzz with the elections. Lots of civic engagement. We need to use that energy, use that civic engagement that we know Elon has to student government. And that just goes out to reaching out, let them know what's going on, that we're here to help, and that we can make a positive change in their student experience. And another idea that I have, public office hours. Each week, students are required to do office hours in the SJ office in Mosley 221A. A lot of people feel that we're cooped up upstairs in our office, we have our meetings upstairs in the office, and then we're not reaching out. We're going to move those office hours downstairs, into downstairs Mosley right near Octagon, Pangeos. My executive officer team will be required to have public office hours each week so we can get the opinions of students passing by. That's just another way we can reach out.
We will be now having our closing statements and the actual executive president speeches, starting with Evan Davis. You have 10 minutes.
Once again, my name is Evan Davis, and I'm running to be your SGA executive president. I seek this position not out of entitlement, selfish want, or careless judgment, but as an imperfect servant wishing to improve the lives of my peers in my institution. Elon has blessed me with the opportunities and friendships of a lifetime. Our education is a gift, the Elon community is a gift, and it is my obligation to reciprocate those blessings to my fellow students. I come from humble beginnings, where a family comes first, and a man's word is stronger than a written word. Hard work is the cornerstone of my being. You will not find another student who will work harder than I to improve the academic and social environments of this university. The decisions I make while in the office of executive president will be made while seeking to fulfill the greater student interests. Whether it is stopping on the brick paths to lend an ear to a concerned peer or reaching out a hand to an administrator, no one will work harder for you. I have developed 3 principles that have guided my campaign: accountability, outreach, and experience. These 3 broad points have specific goals that will ensure that student government is carrying more than its own weight in the areas of service, representation of student rights and needs, and outward public relations to the student body. First, accountability. I will work with the executive treasurer and organization leaders to develop a system for auditing the spending of the 140 student organizations that are funded by SGA to make certain that every dollar spent is to the greatest benefit of the student body. We must ensure your student activity fees are being spent properly. In regard to internal improvements, I will continue to explore the possibility of creating a judicial branch that will replace the current judicial committee inside the Senate. As I said before, SGA is internally punished for infractions, and this may cause conflicts of interest between senators serving on the judicial committee. A separate judicial branch will serve as a check on the entire Senate, including executive officers.